HDFC Bank, India's largest private sector bank by assets, stands as a model of stability, innovation, and growth in Indian banking landscape.
HDFC is one of the most extraordinary players in the Indian banking industry. What started as an ordinary bank with a handful of visionary, ambitious bankers has now turned into the largest and perhaps the most powerful private sector entity in the Indian banking space.
Established in 1994, the bank has consistently demonstrated a commitment to excellence, pioneering digital transformation and delivering superior financial performance. Hello everyone, I'm Sejal Agrawal, a research analyst at Desvelado Advisory, and today we will be diving deep into the journey of HDFC Bank from the first one to receive approval from the RBI to setting up private sector bank in 1994 to being India's largest and premier private sector bank. As of May 2024, the bank boasts an extensive network with 23,920 banking outlets, 8,778 branches, 15,182 business correspondents, and 21,132 ATMs across 3,836 cities and towns in India. Internationally, HDFC Bank operates through branches in Hong Kong, Bahrain, and Dubai, and has an IFSC banking unit in Gujarat International Finance Tech City.
International Financial Services Centres Authority, IFSCA. Once operational in July 2024, the IFSCA Tower will symbolize the growth and aspirations of new and Atmanirbhar Bharat.
It also have representative offices in Kenya, Abu Dhabi, Dubai, London, and Singapore, focusing on housing loans and property purchases in India. Key milestones include the merger with Centurion Bank of Punjab in May 2008. In February 2000, Times Bank merged with HDFC Bank, and most recently, HDFC and HDFC Limited merged together. The India's largest housing finance company merged with HDFC Bank, combining their strengths in finance and housing. Now, HDFC Bank services are divided into several segments. Retail banking with 36.7%, which includes personal loan, home loan, gold loan, saving account, current account, FDs, RDs, wholesale banking at 27.5%, and its products and services include working capital facilities, term lending, project finance, debt capital markets, mergers and acquisitions, etc. The bank holds a significant market share with 11% in advances, 10% in deposits, and 47% in POS and e-commerce transactions. The reason for the merger was due to HDFC Limited's inability to accept deposits like a bank, leading to higher borrowing costs through bonds. Also, the regulatory changes by the RBI, such as the changes related to the liquidity coverage ratio and NPA classification, also played a role in the merger. Now, talking about some key metrics of the bank, the advances growth. Pre-merger, the advances grew by 17.3%, whereas post-merger, they surged by 55.4%, outpacing the deposits, which grew 18.4% pre-merger and 26.4% post-merger. CASA deposit or CASA ratio, like post-merger, CASA ratio declined from 42% to 38%. Talking about the capital adequacy, there was a 3% decline in the capital adequacy ratio from September 2023 to March 2024 post-merger, and the liquidity coverage ratio dropped 8% from 126% in Q1 FY23 to 115% in Q4 FY24. Talking about the income stability, the net interest income remained stable at 72 to 73%, and the non-interest income at 27 to 28%. And the net interest margin decreased from 4% to 3.4% in Q2 FY24. Talking about the strengths of the bank, the HDFC Bank is a market leader. It is the largest private sector bank in India with total assets of 36 lakh crore as of March 2024, and the bank expanded its branch network to 8,000 branches, focusing on semi-urban and rural areas. Also, HDFC's business is well diversified with subsidiaries in broking, asset management, insurance, and more, further strengthening its market position. Also, the bank has healthy earnings profile. Despite high credit cost and integration expenses post-merger, HDFC Bank has maintained robust profitability with a return on assets between 1.94% to 2% during FY22 to FY24. But the bank also has to face various challenges like asset quality stability due to the potential impact of weakening macroeconomic factors which can be witnessed on the asset quality. Talking about the elevated CD ratio post-merger, so the elevated credit ratio following the merger with HDFC Limited is a point of concern. Talking about the management analysis of HDFC Bank, Shashidhar Jagdishan, remuneration of rupees 10.55 crore is on the higher end of the industry spectrum. The average remuneration of MDs and CEOs in the private sector bank ranges between 7 to 10 crores. Also, Shashidhar was the highest paid MD and CEO in the Indian private banking sector in FY23. Now talking about the peer analysis of the bank, HDFC Bank is performing the best in terms of revenue growth with the highest CAGR of 21% compared to its competitors' revenue growth with around 13 to 15% CAGR. Also, the consistent growth in both revenue and EPS suggests that HDFC Bank is maintaining its strong operational efficiency and profitability. However, the EPS only increased by 2.3% during the same period because the merger led to increase in liabilities due to the financing of HDFC Limited with bonds that led to high cost. HDFC is having almost the same net interest margin as compared to its competitors. Also, HDFC Bank's strong and consistent net interest margin has supported its revenue growth and robust EPS. Now, the credit deposit ratio of HDFC Bank remains fluctuating between 88% to 94% from 2017 to 2023. But in 2024, the ratio is 107%, which is a huge spike which occurred due to the increase in credit due to the merger with HDFC Bank and HDFC Limited, and no deposits brought in by HDFC Limited as it was in NBFC. Focusing on the key performance indicator for the bank, HDFC Bank has maintained a low and stable gross NPA, indicating strong asset quality and effective risk management. The CRAR ratio has shown a consistent upward trend, indicating strong capital adequacy and robust financial performance. And net interest margin shows improvement but not as expected for the HDFC Bank even after the merger due to the high cost liabilities brought in by the merger and change in interest rates by RBI to control the inflation, increasing the cost of funds for bank. Now, focusing on the industry analysis, the Indian banking sector is expected to grow at a CAGR of 6.75% from 2023 to 2028. The key trends and challenges in the industry are the technological advancements. The Indian banks are increasingly leveraging AI and fintech solutions to enhance the customer service and streamline operations. The digital lending in India is projected to surpass $720 billion by 2030. Talking about the regulatory environment, which is also a challenge, the RBI has been proactive in promoting financial inclusion and ensuring stability of the bank. Now, the future outlook for the industry is the digital transformation because the trend towards digital banking is expected to continue with increasing adoption of digital payment methods and fintech solutions. Talking about the credit growth is expected to remain strong, driven by economic recovery and increased lending to SMEs. Now, some of the important catalysts for the bank is firstly, the merger of HDFC Bank with HDFC Limited will enhance the capital base of the bank, reduce the unsecured loan exposure of the bank, increase the scale and market presence, which would provide a solid foundation for future growth and expansion. Through continued dominance in agency business, it is the largest collector of goods and service tax, demonstrating its market leadership and a major player in direct tax collection and custom duty. The bank is actively integrated with 9 states or union territories for the collection and settlement of various state taxes. Also, HDFC Bank has been heavily investing in digital transformation initiatives, and the bank's focus on enhancing its digital banking capabilities, including mobile banking, internet banking, and use of AI or machine learning, is expected to drive customer acquisition and improve the operational efficiency. Talking about the financial analysis of the bank, the financial year 23 to 24 was the year of the merger, and the balance sheet size grew by 46.7% in the fiscal and 26.4% increase in deposits and 55.2% increase in advances. The bank consolidated its position as the largest private sector bank by balance sheet size in India without compromising its asset quality. increase in deposits and advances. Both the metrics increased, but advances increased by 54% due to the merger, as the term loans for housing given by HDFC Limited were now also included in the bank's advances portfolio. Compared to increase of 26% in deposits, because HDFC Limited is an NBFC, which does not lead to any addition in the deposits of bank. Rather, it increased the burden on bank by impacting its CD ratio and taking it to 107% in FY24. Now, the future outlook is that the bank advances to grow at a rate to 17 to 18% over the next few years, with a focus on retail loans, including home loans and personal loans. Retail deposits are expected to continue growing robustly, with a target of around INR 1 trillion in assertion over the next few quarters. Talking about the increase in borrowings and deposits, it is due to the high cost borrowings brought in due to the merger, and as HDFC Limited used to finance its deposit through bonds, which led to higher interest expenses. Increase in income and expenses. Increase in income is by 99%, and it is due to increase in interest earned, as the merger contributed to this by combining the loan portfolio, and also by the increase in other income due to enhanced cross-selling opportunities in broader product portfolio. Whereas increase in expenses is by 116%, which is due to increased interest expense due to higher cost of borrowing, which was placed by HDFC's loan book, and increased operational expenses due to the integration cost and expanded operations post-merger. No impact on net interest margin even after the huge merger, due to high cost of borrowings again brought in by the merger and other increased expenses. The future outlook is that the net interest margin is expected to grow steadily, driven by strong advances growth and an increasing retail deposit base. The bank aims to maintain a core net interest margin around 4.1% to 4.3%. If you found this analysis insightful, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your network, and don't forget to subscribe for more such insights on top companies and industry trends. Leave a comment with your thoughts on HDFC Bank's growth prospects or any questions you have. We love hearing from you. Thanks for watching. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.
पेमेंट कर लो, पेमेंट भैया, पेमेंट आओ आप।
कोई भी नंबर पे पे कर लो भाई, कोई भी नंबर पे पे कर लो।
QR scan, Carlo. What are we doing, guys?
इनकी ऐड में इसके अलावा और कोई चॉइस ही नहीं मिली, लेकिन इनके ऐप पर पेमेंट्स की पूरी चॉइस है।
PayZapp by HDFC Bank. Get rupees 1200 cashback per month. Download now.